Hello, everyone, and welcome to this Wealth Management Fast Chat. I'm David Armstrong, the Director of Editorial Strategy and Operations here at wealthmanagement.com. Today, I'm thrilled to be joined by Kristine McManus, who is the Chief Advisor Growth Officer at Commonwealth Financial Network. Kristine, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm looking forward to this.
So we've recently worked together on a research project on organic growth in the advisor space. Curious, we looked at what organic growth means for different advisors. What did you take away from the research, and what was kind of the framework that you wanted to approach that with?
So one really interesting thing and very consistent is just how important client referrals are to organic growth. There's really no other method that comes close to gaining advisors, the same amount of new clients, the same cost efficiency and those sorts of things. And that's just great because we tell advisors, start with the clients. But it was really interesting that a lot of advisors didn't seem to differentiate between M&A activities and organic growth, right? When it came to putting these items in their business plan. And that seems counterintuitive.
Yeah, for sure. We talk about organic growth and acquisition, and then there's this notion of the acqui-hire, right? Hiring an advisor who brings with them some clients on their own. Is that organic growth? Is that not organic growth? The definitions can get a little bit messy.
They definitely can, but we've actually seen a very large increase in the number of advisors, often solo, that sort of reach a point in their career where they say, I'm a little tired of doing it alone. I think I might like to join a larger firm. And sometimes it's part of a succession plan. Sometimes it's part of a growth plan where they say, I want more time with my clients and less time, running the maintenance or looking at my website and things like that. And so we call them tuck-ins, where I'd like to tuck into another firm. And of course, firms that are larger and have capacity and have built out their resource, they're more than happy to add advisors to their mix. So win-win for everybody.
Sure. And we know that, the advisor career path obviously is one that's goes through stages as they go through their career. Talk to me a little about the younger advisor and what you're seeing there with folks on the Commonwealth platform for younger advisors and how they're approaching organic growth.
So our younger advisors are a really important demographic to Commonwealth. So for some years now, we've offered a number of programs and trainings and things like that just to make sure not only that they're getting the guidance or instruction they need, but also that they understand how welcome they are, right? These are not nuisance advisors to us because they're small producers, right? We see them very much as the future of Commonwealth, which they will be. So we have programs to supplement what advisor firms might do. So programs like Advisor Live or mentorship, right? How do you find a mentor in your firm to help you succeed? We've run a next gen leadership development program. We've done these sorts of things to make sure that the next gen is not only participating, that they're getting the leadership skills that we think they'll need. So even if they're a service advisor now working in a firm, we want to make sure that they're going to be a fully competent leader of their business down the road. So we see growth numbers from the next gen that we don't quote, because when you're starting from a smaller base, you see hundreds of percentages of growth and things like that.
Sure. And important for younger advisors to have exposure, I think, to more established firms and larger practices.
Absolutely. And to senior management, right, at their own firms. But one of the things, for example, the mentor program does is matches you up with a senior leader not at your firm, at a different firm, so that you really get some cross-pollination. You get different ideas and different perspectives. And, it's not that different than if you have your own kids and you tell them something, but then the neighbor tells them something, right? It just has more meaning. So someone in another firm coaching a next-gen advisor, often it just has an impact in a way that it doesn't from your own firm. I'm sure you've seen that too, yeah.
Absolutely. I've seen it with my own children for sure.
Yes.
And even, advisors can easily fall into silos and not have that exposure. So it's great to have programs available like that. What about for a advisor or a firm that's a little bit further along in the trajectory, older advisors, seasoned professionals? What sort of stuff is Commonwealth doing for them?
So some of the same things from a different perspective. So we have the advisor marketplace we've created. That's where firms can say, "Hey, we've got infrastructure. If you're a solo advisor or you'd like to join our firm, talk to us." It's a way that they can get new prospects for their business to join their business. But we also encourage things like advisor study groups where the advisors can talk to each other about their own issues and development. Last week, I was in New York for a tri-state area advisor study group meeting. So there's 25 seasoned advisors just sharing ideas, discussing ways of business, talking to each other about how do you automate? What do you do for efficiency? And so we see those sorts of things for our veteran advisors, but also we supply our veteran advisors with other sorts of tools. So whether it's a succession prep workshop, which by the way isn't because you want to retire in a year, right? We look 3, 5, 10 years out. So what are the things you can do to position your practice and make sure, that your business is going to thrive and your clients are going to be thriving after you leave, as well as helping them find next gen advisors. So a lot of our firms are on the hunt for great next gen advisors. So we feel like it's a win-win if we can help the firms that are looking for the next gen find a great next gen that's got the skills they need.
Sure. Another benefit of that network effect, right?
Absolutely.
I did a pretty deep dive into organic growth in the survey. What were some of the top takeaways for you?
Again, the importance of client referrals, and you've been doing this a long time, right? This happened last week. It just the scarring, the psychological scarring advisors went through from years of being trained to push a piece of paper across the desk and say, "Hey, write down the names of 10 prospects for my business that I can call," right? That's not what we talk about for referrals nowadays. We are talking to advisors about how are you leveraging LinkedIn? How are you leveraging social media? And so what the data showed was, yep, social media is being adopted, and you can certainly see where it's being used in LinkedIn and some of these other places. Community. So community events we're hearing more about, and that went away during COVID and it's been slow to return. But as more and more meetings are taking place via Zoom, we're seeing the importance of in-person personal relationships becoming more and more important. And actually, that was a great data point in the survey where 50% of advisors say, yeah, my focus on client relationships, that's been really effective. That's been the most effective thing.
Sure. And for advisors broadly, not necessarily even advisors just in the Commonwealth Network, probably less so there, but the amount of work that goes into running the firm kind of takes away from some of that ability to stay kind of market facing and engage in those kind of networks that help for that organic growth. And it also struck me that advisors are starting to stop looking at these growth channels in silos, right? It's not just referrals over here, marketing technology over here, social media strategy over here. These things all work together. And the client acquisition pathway is multifaceted, I think, in a way that it hasn't been before.
And you touched on something there that I think is interesting, just that more firms are working cooperatively so that it's not silo, 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 and I don't share a good idea with you because then you might use my good idea. We're really seeing just much more cooperative, and going back to the next gen advisors, we see that they like to work collaboratively. They're more than happy to say, okay, I'm not an expert at Social Security. I'm happy to lean on you and leverage you for that expertise. And here's where you can leverage me. So we think that's a great trend that's going to continue.
That's fantastic. Well, great research. Folks should go out and seek it out to find more about it. Kristine McManus, Advisor Growth Lead at Commonwealth Financial Network. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a great day.